Hi, welcome to another episode of Adobe Office Hours. I'm Andrew Hockrattle.
I am Nick Longo, the short one.
Yes, if you're watching this after the fact, thanks for joining us on the YouTube replay. If you are watching this live on YouTube, though, we have a chat over on Behance, behance.net/Adobe Live, behance.net/Adobe Live, and we're all hanging out in there. And the conversation was that I look much taller in this photo than Nick. And Nick, do we want to reveal heights or do we want to just keep it a mystery?
Well, let's just say this. I was on an actual little like Apple box even for that picture.
Yes,
So do the math.
Yeah, in
Work
these
it
pictures,
out.
I am 6'4", and in these pictures, Nick is standing on an Apple box as well. So
Yes.
we're on our way there. Again, that's what makes this show fun. Is
Thanks
we've
for
got
trying,
some.
though. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, we have different perspectives on life and on design, which is what makes Adobe Office Hours a fun time. And Nick, speaking of those perspectives, this show we talk a lot about a lot of things. What are we talking about this week? Very fun show. What are we doing?
Yeah, so we are in week 2 of our logo series. We're calling this like Logo Boot Camp, Logo 101, 5 weeks of logos. And this week it's all about Wordmarks. And this is great because I think I've never really think about specifically when I'm working on a new project, am I going to do a word mark? Am I going to do a icon mark? Am we going to do a badge or a shield? Like, I never think of it that way. Do you do the same thing sometimes?
I always start with the word mark. Start with the word mark.
But even thinking like that, is that going to be the final piece? Like, it'll only go that far.
I always want it to be the final piece. I really do.
Yeah.
I love type. And so we talked about this in past episodes. I love type. I love word marks. And I think that Nick is probably more illustrative and likes the kind of icons and stuff, which we'll be talking about in the next episode. We'll be talking all about your icon marks. So we're going to talk about that today. Let's go ahead and hop in. I want to show you a couple things that you can be a part of. The first of which is, I'm hitting sticky notes on my desk, is right down here, discord.gg/ACC. That is our Discord. And today we will be having some live interaction with our Discord. So if you go to that link, discord.gg/ACC, having a hard day. We can scroll down right here and join the classroom chat. You can see AC, Colby, Elizabeth, and Stephen Booth are already in that classroom chat. We will be doing live interaction today. So if you'd like to come on the show, if you'd like to talk to us about Logomarks, we're going to be asking some questions. Would love for you to help us make up some briefs so that we can design some stuff together today. So go and join the classroom chat in our Discord, and we may bring you on the show live. Looks like we have some homework coming in as well. AC says that they have a logo that they're working on right now that's not loading. Maybe Discord's having some issues again. So we'll come back to that later in the show and see what's getting posted there.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff dropped in there over the last week. I saw some great logo designs. It looks like I saw a menu in there as well.
Yeah,
some nice.
Good stuff.
Great work, everybody.
One more thing, since we are talking about type, we're talking about logo marks. Does anyone in chat know what season it is right now? Nick, do you know if there's any special events involving type happening right now?
Oh, there's a little bit of a challenge going on, I believe, correct?
Yes, there are. The 36 days of type are happening right now, and we have created a playlist for you. If you want to level up your skills, we have created a playlist of 36 different type-based challenges. So Wade will drop that link in chat for us, and it will be able to... you can subscribe to this, you can get reminders, you can add the playlist to your YouTube, you can find all of the great things there, and I believe that the link is bit.ly/cc type challenges. So you can go there and check it out. All right.
I've been seeing a lot of posts on it too as well with the hashtag.
Yes.
Sorry, my frame is freezing there.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can always post using hashtag 36 days of type as well. All right,
Excellent.
Let's hop in there. And for those of you that are joining us right now, we will be doing another intro later on in the show. It always happens. So if it happens, just everybody pretend like we just started.
Yes.
Usually we get like
Welcome
a tweet from an
in.
Adobe account like in the middle of the show. So just like pretend like it just started. All right. So Nick, let's go ahead and hop in here. We're talking about logo marks. What is a logo mark? Let's start diving in and talking about it a little bit.
Yeah, so next page, we've got a fun little kind of like intro into what particular word marks are. These are the ones that they are exactly what they sound like. They are just logos that are made up of letters They're usually void of any kind of extra things there as well, like the Puma one, or maybe like the Panda Bear ones, or anything that's got something uniquely kind of iconic. But they can either be called monograms. You can think of an initial logo. All of those ones really work as a word mark. Some of my favorites that were here, I love like the Frigidaire one. That's one of my favorites, where when you look at that, you see that directly right on an appliance, right?
Yep.
If you look at these, I think what's neat about them is you can kind of start to ask, and we're going to talk a lot about this before we get into some live demos, but personality of the font is like 100% the solution here. This is how you get a really good word mark. And I love these have got some great ones. You know, the ball one, which are like the cool retro jars for your like your kitchen and for food storage. Doesn't that have its retro kind of nostalgic vibe? You know, just in that line, that beautiful line on the bottom.
I love the Stoli one. The Stoli just, it feels like a classic, like mid-century, I'm pouring a cocktail. It's just gorgeous type.
Isn't that great? And like Kellogg's has that, like, there's almost a vibe. It's very morning. There's something, I love the way the font is a little bit fat and a little bit kind of, you know, it feels like it's kind of like, I don't know, it just, God, it's so funny how we look at these things and we are so used to them as who they are, but break them down a little bit and you'll find there's so much cool little strategy in all of these logos.
Yep, absolutely. And someone is saying the WWF down here, that's not a word mark. That's an icon. It's there. It does, I believe, have a combination. So this bottom area is...
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I had a sneeze attack me in the middle of a sentence. The whole bottom area down here is a combination of word marks and some combination marks, which we'll talk about in the future as well.
I love the Eddie Bauer logo too. That was a cool one, where the way it's that's like a signature word mark, but the way the E and the B connect, that was always like a cool little find. I love stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so continuing on here, these are some other examples of kind of a brand name being represented by type, but it turns into a symbol, which I think this is really a cool mixture of having a logo mark and having a word mark. And I think these would technically be like a letter mark. Right. And sometimes this works really, really well for businesses. H&M is always the one that I think of, because like you don't see any other version of a logo. Like it's just H&M. A lot of these, like Chanel, have other.
It's an abbreviated.
Yep. Hewlett Packard has another one. CNN, ESPN. They're all have more logos. H&M is just like, here it is. Here's the logo.
These have made they've become the logo, even though they are just type. And you know, like the New York Yankees, I think as well. Just this, like, it's almost an emblem or a monogram in the same way too. That H&M one's really interesting, isn't it? Funny how that one has kind of stood the test of time. Like,
it shouldn't have. Like it doesn't.
It shouldn't.
It doesn't deserve it. But it's. I mean, good for you, H&M. You did it.
It's working.
It is.
You did something right there. You know.
So
here's 4 kinds.
Yep.
These are like literally categories you can think about just to diversify this a little bit more. Upper left, we've got our serif lettering, and this is where you need to be maybe a little more serious, a little more sophisticated.
And what's a serif, Nick?
Oh, it is the fun little tail that is on every single little piece of end, or you name it, the little anchors.
Absolutely. All right.
That was my. Do you like that, correct?
I loved it. It feels right. Yeah, it's a little pointy thing. It's like a thorn on a rose.
Exactly.
Sans serif. What's sans serif?
So when you need, this is no serif, obviously. So you can see there's no serif compared to the ones on the left, but there's an instant almost friendliness or maybe more welcoming vibe when you have the sans serif. Oh, that's right. Look at you correcting us.
Got you.
Yes, I was sans the Fs.
You got it.
Of the sans.
But yeah, sans serif are what kind of emotions or businesses are typically related to sans serif?
You know, you could be more modern, you could be more friendly, more contemporary. Those would probably be great explanations for when you want to use a font that's in that area. Next up is the script lettering. Now, what's neat about this is you can notice there's a little bit different between the one on the right, which is more the signature one. Think of these ones on the left as fonts that you are able to find. Maybe the A, if it shows up twice, it's exactly the same, right? Or if the E is in there a few times, it is basically the same E. So that gives you a great difference from the signature lettering. And that's where it's actually kind of, look at the Disney logo. The Nicole Miller one has always been a favorite one of mine. I think that one has this personality, the way they have these high ascenders, and that has really stood the test of time as well. Virgin, Marshall Fields, even the Eddie Bauer one we talked about, they're really based maybe off of more of a signature from the founder or the person in charge.
My favorite of these is Saks Fifth Avenue.
Yes,
it is
that's
the
a good one
most
too.
gorgeous signature lettering you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that
someone's
great?
asking a great question here.
Go
We have
for
the IBM logo right here. Is IBM considered a serif font? We have a question from our live chat on Behance. IBM would be considered a slab serif, right? So there's
Yes.
two kinds of serifs. There's the V and A, which is right here, and that has a serif that is sharp and pointy, and then IBM has a slab serif that is rectangular and chunky. So that
Correct.
breaks
Uniform
into
weight.
two different kinds of those.
Yeah, but that's a great point because there it is, a modern tech company, and yet they're doing a serif. So good way to question that because but then turning it digital, giving it the negative space, that's what adds the modern touch to it as well.
Yep, and that's what makes it innovative is that it's not a sans serif in the tech space, which is what you guess. It's something that's a little bit different, that's a little bit innovative, and a little bit new. And let's talk about the general idea. What is a logo mark? And we will be hopping into Illustrator today. So we'll be hopping into Illustrator and showing you hands-on how to make one of these logo marks. So fire up your illustrators. Get ready for us.
Yes, let's do it, guys.
Get ready. All right, Nick, why?
Perfect.
Why logo mark?
Why logo marks? So before I get into this, want to hear your guesses. What colors do you think the logo mark on the top there, what brand colors did I use to put that together? There's probably a few that match that, blue and red.
I'm not going to go with the obvious one.
I dropped. We're talking eye dropped.
So here's the one. I think I know what it is, but here's the one that I'm going to guess that I don't think anyone else would guess. Tommy Hilfiger.
Oh,
right.
He's very
It's got the blue and red.
Yep. We got PetSmart. That's a good one. I think that AmeriGas, Pathmark. I love the guesses. These are great. I'm going to go into the definition here, and then I'll reveal the answer because we got a few more of these.
Oh, PetSmart. That's a great idea.
That's a great one, isn't it?
So I'm going to guess, Nick, is it... Oh, and someone else in our live chat has Pepsi?
Close.
Coca-Cola?
But no.
RC Cola.
Should I reveal it?
Reveal it. What is it?
And yes, everybody's got it. There's a ton of companies that have it, but these are directly from the Mobile Gas logo.
Oh, Mobile Gas. Shermayeff and Geismar. Yes.
Yep. Beautiful blue and a really nice punchy red. So that's the ones from there. But what this is saying here is why the logo mark. When we're born, letters and fonts are just shapes. We have not familiarized or gotten to spend time with them enough to know. But as you grow, these become associated with shapes and words, and then the design style relates to a specific object or organization, or in this case, a brand. So isn't it neat to think that we've been building up this association with the fonts and the lettering all of our lives? So that's why they play, that's why they work, and they don't need an actual icon or anything artistic or iconic to be a part of it.
Yep, and I think that it's a great point to know that this is Mobile, the exact same colors. And even though this font is like close, it's not the logo type. And that just shows how strong a good logo type is that we would in an instant recognize the Mobile, but then seeing it in a different font means, oh, that logo type is so good that it's not just any font will do it. Exactly. It has to be the Mobile, which is really cool. All right, so next one, why Logomarks considered they are considered the most pure form of the logo. Man, I can't talk today.
It's one of those days.
Yes, and the reason that it's the most pure form of a logo is it's telling you what it is, right? If we get into like Starbucks just uses the mermaid or Nike just uses the swoosh, that's great, but it needs more context, right? Having a word mark tells you everything about the brand. It tells you what the name is. Right? So it helps you relate to something that you've heard. So it is the most like pure form.
Yeah, Trader Joe's is a perfect example too of this like almost outpost, style, and it works across all of their different variations of their brand too. And again, no icon. You'd think maybe they'd have a mascot, they'd have like a Joe, but they've done it with this, and I think it's so successful on its own. Again, purest form of what a logo could be.
Yep. And someone is asking, or someone is already commenting on the bonus question for this one. What brand colors are used in this logo mark? I'm going to try to give a quick clue, which I think will be interesting to show how strong a logo mark is.
Yes.
I'm just going to type something out real quick and see if this will give it away.
Okay. I think I know which one it was. We wrote these earlier, so I'm trying to remember.
Hold on. Okay,
we're talking the red and the orange.
We're talking the red and the orange.
Yes.
All right, let me put this in a different font, and then real quick, I'm going to change out the colors, and hopefully y'all can think and guess what it is. What a fun game we're playing here.
Exactly.
I got distracted and I had to do it to see if it would actually work. All right, so we're going to go back to my screen, and everyone see if this helps at all.
There you go.
So exact same colors, but we changed the type, and I think that it helped. Nick, is this the right answer?
That is right. We had a few correct answers. It is Burger King.
It is Burger King. And so we can see, and this is not the Burger King font, but it's something that is similar to show that it's all about finding that kind of emotion and using type to convey your business in the right zone. So I think it's really interesting that here you'd never guess that it is Burger King, right? But then down here, it's the exact same thing, but because the font is different, it helps you, helps you understand a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Bex is right too, that it is Shell Oil is in the same zone as there.
Oh, it is.
Everyone's got to know this one for sure.
Everyone's got to know this one.
This is the most obvious one. But when do you want to lose? When do you want to use a logo mark? There's three really great areas here to think about. When you have a very short or distinctive business name, those are don't you love it when it's a short word or initials like HBO or something like that? Perfect example there of how a HBO logo could be great because it's nice and short. Yep, everybody's getting it. It is FedEx for sure. I think we know that.
Absolutely, yeah. And speaking of things that are really like short names that you can use type and create like a very simple logo mark, you were talking about it, and I hadn't thought about it until right now, but... my logo is literally a word mark as well. I have no symbol. I literally just use hawk.co because it's short, it's memorable. The letter forms are easy to create into a logo. And so if you have a business that is like a short name, I think that lends itself to using a logo mark like this.
Yeah. Perfect idea. The second one here is when you are planning to use this logo on tons of different mediums and applications, and you just want to make sure that there's no question of reversing out or have you ever seen a funky logo might be a mascot or something, and you can't just reverse it out because features and things will look a little bit funky when it comes to that. But Canon, that's a great example as well, where they've got this distinctive font that's all theirs. We know anywhere that goes, if it reverses out, if it's black, if it's white, if it is the red, it's going to work. So they know across patterns and across all these different applications, it's going to be just fine.
Yep, absolutely.
And the third one, really quick, was the EBA one. So when you want to use bright, distinctive colors in that typeface or something, you remember their old one, which was even actually crazier when it had all the like
overlapped
jumbled.
And
exactly here. So there's a great way when you want color. Look at Google, great example too. When you want color to be the play of your brand personality, that's a great spot for a logo mark.
Yep. And we had somebody with another great one. Bex Albertson in the live chat says H&R Block is all about color and font. Yep. It is just the type with a basic square in there, which is very interesting. All right. So let's talk about finding the right type. This is the important part of working with a logo mark. And that is words carry meaning and typefaces convey character. I love that. I always like to think of it as the voice of a person, right? We mentally read things, right? We look at something and in our head, we can hear it as we're reading it. And the font dictates what that voice is, right? Is it out for tea? Is it in the gym? Is it a trainer that's screaming at you? Is it a friend that's just casually saying, like hello? Is it, during a movie with a score over it? It's kind of a big thing. So Nick, do you want to talk about like how we find the right type?
Yeah. So if you really think about the way typefaces convey a character, or like Andrew just said, the personality or the feeling you're trying to get the brand to say, think of like a script typeface. They would not be the best choice for something like an insurance company, Hawk Rattle Insurance. Let's just go there, right?
Right. It feels like I'm also selling cupcakes. Like I have insurance
Yes.
and cupcakes.
Or Saks Fifth Avenue, or something, or a beautiful department store. It might be there.
Yes.
But the reason, too, think about it. It's if it doesn't have the seriousness that it should, will that be a trustworthy logo to the person looking at it? Does it reflect the services that you're providing? And then second option here is, on the other hand, all caps, like this one here, would not be great for like a children's summer camp, because you want fun, community, and learning, and you're going to do something totally different with that. And as obvious as this sounds, I think this is where a lot of people, and myself included, sometimes in your first or second comp that you're putting together, you're not thinking that really that crystal clear. So a lot of times it's, ask yourself, how would the brand talk? And would this be the right font for it?
Yep, absolutely. And I have a little bone to pick with our live chat. We showed this graphic that says Adobe Summer Camp, and everyone's like, "That would be so much fun." Y'all, we have a whole season called Summer Camp. So if you want more Adobe content for office hours, there is a playlist.
Just they forget.
Search Adobe Office Hours. There's a playlist for you of all of our seasons, all of our shows. This is I believe this might be episode 90. So we have a ton of episodes for you. You can always find more content. And for those of you that just joined us, we just saw a lot of people hop in. Always happens. Hi, I'm Andrew Hawkrattle.
Welcome, everybody. Nick Longo over here.
We're doing Adobe Office Hours, happens every Friday here on behance.net/Adobe Live at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. And Nick, what are we talking about today?
You caught us in our Wordmarks episode of our series on logo design. So this is week 2. If you missed last week's, go and check that out. We did a great little overview of everything involved with logos. But 5 weeks of logo design right now you're catching us on. So
yep, absolutely.
This is gonna be a blast.
And y'all just got a treat of a Windows error sound coming through your ears. So sorry about that. So we do have one more slide that I want to talk about, and then we're going to get hands-on here. So open a browser for me, and then also open Illustrator, and then we'll be able to work together. But I want to talk about this real quick. Finding the right type. This is how we get these emotions and feelings. Nick, what are some of the generic things that we're looking for to find the right vibe for our logo mark?
Yeah, exactly. And this is a great way of kind of breaking it down into those 5 areas that we could really strive to connect with when it comes to doing it. So look to the top right with sans serifs. We've got stability. There's clean. There's modern vibes. Very cool. The modern ones below that, strong, progressive, stylish, right? Those kinds of things work there. A display font is how you might try to show off something that's friendly or very unique, very expressive, but very amusing. Right?
And display is not one that we talked about, but display fonts are basically used for a very specific purpose. So display fonts could be serif, sans serif, any of those, but they're mostly used for like a thing. Right, that it's like a very specific style. Yeah. So it's usually a headline. It's usually something that's for a specific era or time. But display is not something that you'd use widely. In logo design, you would use some displays every now and then.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's just never do it in body copy, paragraph format, that kind of thing.
Yep.
It's a headline. I always like to look at it. And that includes logos, which are great. Scripts obviously convey the elegance, something affectionate, something creativity based. And then you look at this and you can see how these are the things like the serif ones on top. We talked about that earlier. Tradition, respectable. Is it reliable? Is there a comfort level that you're trying to get to? So you can see these go into the feelings, the emotions, and the associations of how we think. Let's match it up with the font choice that we want to do.
Absolutely. So with that, that's all the information we have. You can get that in Discord if you want to follow along and check out our content a little bit later. If you're watching this, you can check that out over here in the Discord. It will be pinned in this channel right here. It will be pinned up in the channel in the pins. So do that, and then also go join our voice chat. I see a lot of you in there. Oh, so fun. We're going to be hanging out with you in just a little bit and bringing you on to the show. But for now, let's fire up Illustrator. So go ahead and open up Illustrator. And Nick, what are we going to be doing today?
So we want to take some ideas from you guys. We have a great cafe thing going on with the stuff we did in Basics 101. But for now, what we want to do is maybe kind of like do some live Wordmark logos and feed from you guys. What do you want us to try? Give us a name. Maybe what we could do is like say, okay, we want to create an ice cream shop, right? Give us a name. Give us 3 words that you would describe that ice cream shop with, and the words should be, at least adjectives, feelings. What does that brand want to say? So throw us a name and 3 adjectives. Maybe we'll take the first one and see how it goes.
Yep, Nick, I made you a logo. And I just
Oh
want
my
to get
gosh.
I just want to get your initial feedback on this of what we think here. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
This is looking
All right, so
really good.
go ahead and y'all hop into Illustrator with us, because we are all going to design together right now, and we are
Yeah,
going to leverage the power and the magic of Discord. Let's hop over to Discord, and I'm going to bring someone on to give us kind of a
good
brief
idea.
and brainstorm some ideas with us, and then we can
be
all
live.
work on a type mark together, and we can post it in here in the homework channel. So let's see. Colby, do you want to come on real quick? And chat. I'm going to ask you that, and then it's going to be like a 10-second delay. So just prepare for me to like pull you into the channel. I'm going to pull Colby up and see if you would like to talk. Go ahead and just let Elizabeth know,
please do,
and
guys.
we will bring you up on the show to help brainstorm. So let's pull Colby up and see what happens. Hey, Colby.
Kobe,
Hi, how's it going?
We did it.
been a while, man. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. It's kind of funny. It just there wasn't too much of a delay, but happy
cool.
to be here. Thank you.
Cool. So we're going to work on some logo marks. And the easiest way to do that is to find out what the business's kind of emotions are. So help us brainstorm a business. What kind of like feelings, what's the business? And then what kind of like vibe would the business be having?
Okay. Something that could be kind of fun would be like a plant shop. I've been seeing a lot of those around. It'd be kind of
Great.
interesting.
Okay.
If we're talking
How
about
about
like
a name?
adjectives, maybe something that's a little weirder. Maybe like a little hippie kind of plant shop. Something that's a little more just creative. And think about like music festival crazy fonts.
Like psychedelic kind of
Yeah.
thing. Okay. Okay. That's a
that
good
Art
vibe.
Nouveau that kind of got adapted to be more psychedelic.
Ooh, I love this. All right, cool. So I'm going to toss you back into classroom chat. Thanks for joining us. We're going to
problem.
do a
Thank
couple
you,
of these today. So if you all want to be in here, go join the classroom chat in our Discord. We'll bring more people on. So Nick, let's
Yes.
recap right here. And Elizabeth, if you could drop this into our homework channel in here in Discord, we are going to be doing a plant shop, and that plant shop is going to be psychedelic. It's going to be kind of maybe 70s inspired. We're trying to be like relaxed, and the voice in my head that I'm hearing is the car from Cars, like the van. That's just like, yeah, man, like I swear the yellow
back.
light's slower than everything else. Like it's relaxed, laid back, kind of chill, that kind of thing. So Nick, where are you going to start? Because there's actually a really great resource that we could look at.
Yeah. Do you want to pull that up on Adobe Fonts? Uh-oh.
My dryer's right next to my microphone, and the alarm went off, and it was so loud.
This is live, everybody.
This is live, everyone, and and we're at home. All right, so yes, let's check out that resource real quick, and it is just going to be fonts.adobe.com. It is a magical wonderland of everything you've ever imagined and more. And what we can do is here we can start looking for those kind of emotions. So
Yes.
let's click on Browse All Fonts. That's where we want to start. Everyone go with me, fonts.adobe.com. We are going to browse all fonts. What was I working on? I was working on a logo, I guess, that the business was Crank. All right, so we're going to turn that off.
So you have it in there?
Yep. So what we can do here is we can start looking, and Nick, what is this panel over on the left? It's the greatest thing that exists.
I kind of went over there right away and started looking for, here are tags, here are ways the fonts are organized. So we know we don't want anything maybe futuristic for this one, right? We don't want anything Art Deco. I'm not thinking. I went to funky. I think that would be the first pick for me. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think funky could be a good place, and we can bring down this text size, and you can see that it's going to pull all of these places, all these fonts in here so that we can have a live preview. I'm just going to name it Plant Power. I think that that's going to be the name of our business.
Perfect.
Andrew, pull
Excellent.
it together. All right.
So we got that.
So we're calling it Plant Power. So what's great is we can literally type that out, and now we can start to get the feeling of that word mark, right? We can scroll down and see, is there anything that feels psychedelic, anything that feels groovy, right? This is kind of getting there. And Nick, what are we looking for when we're trying to feel groovy and psychedelic?
Yeah, I'm looking for movement. I'm looking for curves. I'm looking for nothing too sharp or too obstructive. I want like a really nice uniformity. You know, there's got to be some unity going on in those things. Like I'm thinking of the groovy waves. Like, is it wave based or I found this. There's a few here. I'm struggling. What have you found anything good?
I haven't. So what you can do as well as we're going to keep going through these is I can actually come down to these other classification categories, and we can go to sans serif. And maybe we want something that's a little bit thicker. We know that we want something with some major contrast.
Yes.
And so we can find some cool contrast in there and see if anything's coming up. Man, it's not really hitting where I want it to. Let's try to do maybe a hand.
Yes.
It's going to be more handwriting. Okay, we don't want that.
Yep. Let's see.
I have one in mind that I've seen before, and I can't remember what it's called.
I do like the hobos, that new version of hobo that's in Adobe Fonts now.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Little 70s vibe to it, which is kind of cool.
And we used to have a category here that was display. And so we can also check out recommendations. We can check out font packs. There's all kinds of great things. So I'm actually going to go to font packs and see if there's anything cool in here that we could play around with.
Yeah, that's a great idea too.
So it's great because they're named in the groove, soft pop, otherworldly. Actually, otherworldly visions might be good. So we can check out this pack right here. And let's scroll down here. And I think I saw one that I really liked. This, Elizabeth's Display. That looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on Activate All Fonts and watch what happens here. And a lot of people in live chat are tossing in names of fonts. So HTW font and Casey. We have Benny. If you're going to design something, grab your font, load it into Illustrator, and make something. We are working with Plant Power and then post it in our Discord. So Nick, you're already going over here. I've just been downloading fonts. What do you got going over here?
Yeah, one thing I went to Adobe Color, and as soon as Colby said plants and that, I went and just did a quick search for a plant color swatch palette and found this planter box right here. Got it into my swatch, and this is the hobos, which I thought was kind of cool. This has got that vibe, but it's not enough. I think we want to mess with these things a little bit more. I'm going to start messing. I know you're going to play around with some tools, but what I'm going to do is just kind of go like, okay, let's do this. I'm going to, first off, let's do this. I'm going to ungroup it, and then we're going to move things around. I think if I can stack this a little bit, and if I can curve plant, overpower a little bit, that might be a quick little solution as well. So I'm going to try envelope distort. What I love about this is you got all these fun different ways. Like, ooh, all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what if I do both words with this? Now I can make this even more groovier, right?
Yep. And can you do that one more time and just show us where you went to get that font?
Perfect. So I'm going to move things around, and maybe let's get power a little bit bigger so it fits. And before you do any of that, just align it to where you think kind of looks nicely. I clicked it all together, and then you go to Object, Envelope Distort, and Make with Warp. And what this is going to do is going to open this little warp window, and you can see you get all of these uniquely different things. We can do a wave. Notice what the wave does is it keeps the parameter the same, but it has given you a nice little swoosh between the bottom of plant and the top of power. So I kind of like that a lot. That's kind of pretty cool, all right there from one little trick, right?
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah.
So over on
What
my
do you got?
over on my screen, I have synced this font over, and we could have done all of that right here in Adobe Fonts. We can open up our character panel by hitting Control T. And then we can select our type and actually just click on this drop down and hit find more, right? And there,
Perfect.
all those filters that we were just looking at are also here. So I filtered through, I got our font that we liked, which was Lisbeth, I believe that we're using. Yep, Lisbeth Display Regular. Lisbeth. And what we're going to do is we're going to start playing around with this type to make it a little bit different. And the thing that I'm going to do is there's a big difference between having live type, right, which is right here, and then having type as outlines. So when we're working with a Logomark, you're going to want it to be outlines in a little while. Once we get to the final, you'll want it to be outlines. And the difference is here, we can still type in here, right? Down here, this is now outlined and it is just anchor points. So if you want to play around with it, lock in what you want it to say. And I actually want it to be in all caps for this one. So I'm going to retype this in plant power. And then I'm just going to make a copy hitting Control C, Control V. We're going to paste that and then go to Object and Expand. You also can Control Shift O is going to be the outline there. And we're just going to expand that out into shapes. So from here with a word mark, you never want to leave it as just the font, right? You want to do something that's interesting, something a little bit different. And so I'm going to show you how to envelope distort things. Nick just showed you a kind of a warp tool for envelope distorting. I'm going to show you how to do it with different shapes. So because we're feeling groovy, I want to kind of create this like gig poster look. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a circle using the ellipse tool right here. And then we're going to take the word plant and our circle. We're just going to hold shift and click on both of those. And from there, we're going to go to object. We're going to go to envelope distort and make with top object. And what that means is it's going to take that type and it's going to morph it into this top object. So watch what happens. Boom. It has created this type that goes all the way across with that circle. This is like super psychedelic. It's a little bit too wavy in my opinion.
That's great. Isn't that cool?
It's looking really, really cool to kind of mess that around. And Nick, let's go back over to yours because I want you to show off freaking Nick, it's already good. I want you to show off something that's called the, oh no, Nick, what's it called? Touch type tool. Can you show off the touch type tool? So this is another way to do what I just did, but to do it with live type, so you can stay live. So Nick, what is the
I went ahead and
tool?
I did this the hard way. I basically outlined the font, and I started messing around with it. But this is still live. I have not outlined it. It is still considered text. You can see the difference when you go to Command Y, which is wireframe. But what Andrew was saying was if you go to your type thing here and you go to touch type tool, now I can click on each one of these pieces and I can move I can actually do a ton of different things. First, I can see, oh, there's some cool, there's a new one there. I like that as well, right? I could turn this a little bit. Notice I'm only affecting that actual one as well. So as you do this, look at the control you have over each one. I'm going to take the A and I'm going to tilt it a little bit this way. So I'm getting, like, specifically with these fonts that have a lot of the curvatures, you can really play off those and find those really cool areas where they do kind of connect really nicely. And notice I'm still live text, but I'm actually messing this around. I think it actually is coming out a little bit more fun because I think that animation it makes as you're moving, I love this, how it's keeping track of the other letters as well. And if I want to make this one actually bigger, I can. This is the coolest addition to, I mean, after rounding corners, this has got to be the best thing I've ever seen added to Illustrator. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh?
It is really, 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 really good. I absolutely love it. And then we can go back that if there is a problem or if we need to change something, you can go in and change it and it's still live. That's the biggest thing, is that it's still live, which is a big deal. All right, so I have started playing around with some more logo type here. Wow, look at this. I pulled a whole brand together in the time that Nick had it on the screen. Let me just close these other tabs that are for a plant shop that I did branding for.
Oh, you are too much.
I was just like, I've done this already. A great thing to do as well is to play around with that type that you can find, but also it might help to toss some colors on it. It's good to work in black and white, but adding some type in color will help you kind of get the emotion a little bit better. And then what I like to do is to come in here, and this is a great way to take it from just a font into a logo mark, is we're going to outline this. And then I'm going to start playing around with some of these shapes. So I'm going to use the direct selection tool, which is just A. And I'm going to maybe try to turn this into more of a leafy shape by grabbing these little anchor points right here. And we can augment the counters. We can augment the pieces of these letters to turn them from letters into really having a little bit more of like a logo-ness to it, right? And then maybe we add in something in here that's like a little kind of brush mark. By starting with the type and then building on top of it, you can really have some cool results and come out with something that's really, really interesting. So,
oh yeah, that looks cool.
Right? And it just has like maybe a little like plant power kind of stem thing. There we go. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad for like 3 minutes. So freaking Nick.
You stepped up the game with the color blocking, dude. I had to follow up.
I'm so mad.
What I did, guys, was here's where we left off, right? We went into the touch type tool. We manipulated each little piece and had some fun with it. But all I did was I always duplicate. I never outline without leaving live text somewhere. And I just did Command Shift O for create outlines. And now, after it's ungrouped, I can see how these stacked together, and you can see they didn't really hit right off the bat. So that just meant I had to do a little bit more playing around with these things to find the space that would actually work. I love puzzle piece kind of like typography like this.
Yep,
you know,
absolutely.
This idea where you could do that. Do you mess around with different colors? How does this work? I think alone, all I'm going to do is maybe try to add like what you did, maybe put in a flower leaf in one of these areas as a almost like an Easter egg, kind of like that little hidden thing. That'd be kind of fun to mess around with.
Yep.
But I think we've nailed it. We've got these two really cool, everything we wanted it to be. They're laid back. They're very casual, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of groovy. You know, you want to try another one?
Yeah, let's do another one. So as always, we want you to post your work if you are creating one along with us. Go ahead and post your work in the Discord right there. You can post it. We would love to see it. And we're going to bring one more person on. Would anyone like to volunteer? Elizabeth, if there is someone that would volunteer, just send me a DM and we can
need a good one.
Toss that on. And while we wait for somebody to come on, I just want to show one more thing on my screen. And that is going to be... Andrew, what were you going to show?
Oh, no.
I needed live type for something. Oh, I was going to show contextual alternatives. Okay, so something that you also want to check for fonts is when you have a font and you're starting out, go to open type right here. So open type, and then you can click on all these buttons. So some of them will add swashes, some of them will add discretionary ligatures, which are called contextual alternatives. It will make it so that some of these letters will change. So there we go. So some fonts have extra letters that you don't see. And so if I turn on swashes, you can see that there's a different A and there's also a different T right there.
Yes.
And then maybe contextual alternatives, that A will change. And you also can see that by going up here to type and then turning on glyphs. And from there, check this out. This is every single different variation that you can find that's included in this font. And I believe if you highlight a letter, it will show you the different glyphs, right? So you can change this to that nice A with that swash, and you can start to really combine these pieces to create a unique word mark that can be further customized. So glyphs is an amazing, amazing tool to do that. And Nick, while we look in the Discord one more time, do you want to tell people what this show is, when they can tune in? We just had another like 30 some people to hop in. So
what's up, everybody? Welcome. This is week 2 of our type boot camp, let's call it, and we're going into Wordmarks this week. We did a Basics 101 course last week, and this is office hours. We're here every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can come and join us. We're in like season 87 right now.
Yep. Yeah. We're doing this year. We're doing a course called Creative Basics 101. We're taking you from novice to no fear in 1 year. We're talking about logos for the next 3 weeks. So tune in, subscribe.
Yes.
Make sure you tune in at this time.
Yes.
And that's our Discord down there. And our Discord has voted that Elizabeth is coming on the show. So we are bringing Elizabeth on the show.
Yay.
Good luck, everybody. All right, Elizabeth, we had to do it. We had to bring you on the show. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
What's up, Elizabeth? Are you ready to challenge us? Let's do this. What do we got?
Sorry, I need to catch up on what's happening.
All right, cool. So what we're doing is we're creating a word mark, and we need you to give us like a business and then like some feelings and emotions about that business so we can find work on a word mark for it.
So a new one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we got?
Let's see. Well, can we do the ice cream one again?
Sure.
Yes, I love
So
ice
I think
cream.
Describe that place.
There were 3 words that I came up with earlier. I think it was family, friendly, and fun. So I want to see what you can do with that.
Okay, family friendly and fun ice cream shop. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to kick you back out. Thanks, Elizabeth. All right.
Yeah.
We do have some work real quick from Hollow. Did a plant power logo. This looks so fun. This is great. And this,
Oh, nice.
I imagine walking in and everything being in like that, like black light glow paint, right? This feels
Ooh,
so
yeah.
psychedelic. Bravo.
Good
All
job,
right,
guys.
So Nick,
That
what
looks
were the
great.
things that we're going to be working on next?
So we've got an ice cream shop. We need a name, guys, if anybody wants to pop one out or if you got a good one. Our 3 words are family, friendly, and fun. So I think I'm feeling nostalgic with this one for sure. Like I'm feeling like we have something that's going to be super friendly. I think it's got to be kind of not too sharp, something that could be a little bit fun. I love that this has got a great vibe to it. That's kind of neat.
And so,
What do you
Nick,
think?
when you're saying that it has a nice vibe, because I think this is a great example, and I'm not showing Nick's screen. Here we go. The reason that this has kind of that vibe is more historic. Do you want to talk about like why this works and why we're referencing something for a word mark?
Yeah, when I say this has got the vibe, I think that's my kind of like translation of it's checking all the boxes that I had in my mind of what looks family, what looks friendly, what has a bit of fun to it. And this is a script font, but it does feel like almost a bit of a signature as well. I'm looking at little things like, to me, it has this friendly vibe. There's nothing too weird going on with it. It actually is quite calm, but it feels like it could be something fun. I could see this being used in the brand, but I'm also looking for a font, particularly in scripts, that has a little bit of originality to it. Like if someone sees this font used somewhere else, they're gonna be like, isn't that the font that they use at the family-friendly fun ice cream place that we haven't named yet?
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking.
I've picked my name, Nick. If you would like to pick a different name, that's totally fine in
Uncle
chat.
Scoops.
You can
Uncle Scoops.
Okay,
Justin Roy.
which is a really great suggestion, which is funny because I named mine Lil Scoop. I just
Lil
think
Scoop.
Lil
I
Scoop
love
is just
it.
a cute little name. And so I found a font here and I knew that I wanted to find something that felt small, right? I wanted it to look a little bit like smaller and condensed. And in my brain, this is such a specific reference, but if you guys have ever seen the Bobby Moynihan sketch from SNL where he takes his cat into space, please look it up. Just cat space Bobby Moynihan SNL. And he has this voice that he does to where he has his cat and he just goes, "Oh, it's just my little kitty cat." And for me, that's the voice that was happening, was just, it's just a little scoop. It's just a little tiny little scoop. And so I wanted to find something that had that little cute little squishiness to it. And this font I think is absolutely perfect, right?
Oh, dude, that is great.
Yes,
I
it
love
has
that.
the perfect little scoop, I think. And so I'm going to play around with this. And Nick, you're doing something interesting. You're combining types of fonts.
God.
What is happening? What chaos are
Okay,
you
so
ensuing?
how many of you guys have looked to see font pairings? Like how that works is still one of those mysteries that like I love messing around with and seeing. Can I find 2 fonts that are totally different? What are the rules when it comes to how this works, right? So I'm really digging the scoops, and I think to me I like scoops as the script. But for Uncle, I want something that's maybe a sans serif that's kind of cool. It's got some vibe with it. And as I'm just searching through here, I want to find those ones that I think could actually work. You're looking for things that are maybe somewhat similar, like line weights, or is there something unifying about them? This one for sure has a cool vibe, but it doesn't have an italic. So what I'm going to just try to do quickly is just shear it a little bit to that. And I think as well, it's now got that kind of like, it matches it a little bit. It's totally different. Let's tighten up the spacing here just a bit, because I think it can work. And then I'm going to go just slightly bigger and see how that works. The other thing I'm looking at is for areas where I see this could line up. And maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some ice cream. I'm going to do a quick search on color.
All right, look for some colors. So I'm going to work here and show something that's really easy. Is I love this apostrophe. Like, it's my favorite thing about this so far. And so if there's something within the font that you're working with that you can incorporate into other letters, I want to try to incorporate that into other letters. And so we can use the tools that we have by taking pieces of that word mark and then applying it to other pieces. So I like this. So I'm just going to grab this and hold Alt or Option, which is going to allow me to overlap it with this shape here. And I'm just going to play around with the idea of like creating some of these little cutouts. And I'm actually just going to make a little oval shape and then rotate it a little bit. And I'm going to use it as a cutout here. And right now I'm just going to toss it over in white so that I can kind of get the sizing and get it how I want it to be. But I think it could be fun. Again, this is kind of giving a reference to maybe scoops being taken out of some of these letters, right? That it's just a nice little accent. And we're going to put it in the same position in a lot of these, right? Right on that top corner. And maybe another one goes down here. So now you can see easily and very quickly, we have something that feels a little bit more custom with just these little pieces taken out. So augmenting some of that font that you've created allows it to have a little bit more personality, which is really fun. And I definitely think that I want to reverse this so that we've got little googly eyes. That looks so silly. And Nick,
That's
you've got
great.
some colors going. What do you got over there?
Yeah, so I went to Adobe Color and noticed these top two here in my palette, in my library. Just did a quick explore, popped in ice cream, and I got these great little colors, and you pop them right into your library, and they're ready to use and mess around with. So I'm trying to find that kind of nostalgic neighborhood, kind of like down the street, Main Street kind of vibe, and I love these two colors. But one thing I want to try to do here is we haven't done typed on path yet, have we?
We haven't done any type on a path. We have about 3 minutes. So if you want to show it real quick, you totally can.
I'm going to do a quick here with the oval tool. I have my actually option key down. So I'm going it centered. And there's the path that I want Scoops to kind of mess around with there. So let's do this. I'm going to copy it. You're going to click back on this guy here. You change your type tool to type on a path. Click on here. And we pasted it. And of course, you're going to always get it a little bit off here. So let's move this around like that. There we go. And we'll move this Scoops out of the way and see. Oh, okay. Not bad.
Yeah, just
might not be the best font because you can see this is where you'd have to do some finessing in that area here where the joining pieces are now separated a little bit.
Yep.
But to be honest with you, I think that this streamlined vibe, I'm happy with that. Like this to me, that's got it.
Yep.
I'm happy.
Yeah, and it's always great to go to historic reference. That's the best place to start for Wordmarks. Go to a historic reference and find something that's in that zone and then start to combine, start to augment, start to figure out what works for you. We have some more submissions in our Discord. This one is from Elizabeth. Looking good. Looks like we have more of a script here. And Nick.
Oh, look at her being all clever with the 1P.
Right. Right. So Nick, this is what kind of font would this be?
That is a script.
It is a script. And what's interesting about this is on the borderline of a kind of font that is called, literally the definition is fat face. And a fat face font has a very thin vertical and a very thick horizontal. So this kind of has those attributes, but this is something that would be a script, but it is very groovy, lots of motion. Another one here, tons of motion. This is from Faith in our Discord, some awesome motion. And Nick, what era is this throwing back to you?
Ooh, I'm feeling 60s-ish.
I am. I'm feeling 60s, 70s. Yeah, little Woodstock vibe. And then we have one more from Welly Girl.
Oh, Welly Girl.
Okay,
Nicely
this
done.
is the font that I was looking for. This is the font that I was looking for, which, again, it just shows you how powerful the emotions and the feelings are, is that I had this font in mind, but I couldn't think of the name or find it. But it is something that was shared, right? So I thought of, oh man, this font is so perfect for this emotion. And then we had Welly go in there and say, hey, this is perfect, right? So it just shows that kind of universal language. I love this. Hollow has posted one. Kitty Cone.
Nice. What a great name for a place. I love the change of the K.
Yes.
Wonderfully done. Good colors.
So the number one thing that I would suggest to people, that if you're doing something for kids, if you're doing something that's cute, I love combining uppercase and lowercase, and really pay attention to the lowercase. To me, feels young, feels vibrant, feels youthful. I love playing around with those. So fantastic
really
job, y'all.
Wow, guys.
You're doing amazing.
We're a design agency. We all just made about $100,000.
Right? And Faith just posted Sunday Scoops. I love that.
Nice.
So fun. So definitely keep posting your work in the Discord. We'll be back for another episode next week. We're talking about logo icons. We're talking about how to create those. We'll be working with Simple Shapes, showing you Pathfinder tool. Nick, when and where can they watch that?
Guys, every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on behance.net/Adobe Live. Join us every week. We've got 3 more to go.
Yep, 3 more to go for logos, and then we go into all kinds of fun. Stick around, set a reminder every week, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we will see you next week for another episode of Adobe Office Hours. Bye.
Bye, guys.